Hello internet people! Have you ever thought to yourself, I'd really love a portable speaker so that I can walk around crowded areas and blare my music out to other people that really don't want to hear it? Me neither, but these people walk among us. Some people like to have a portable speaker just to take to like a picnic or like a barbecue, which is essentially just a meat picnic. What I want to explore today is whether or not you need to spend the money on a big branded speaker, whether or not you can buy a cheap one from China, or you can make one yourself for a fraction of the cost that's just as good, or perhaps even better than the one that you've bought from a major brand company type thing. Now that we've got things like Temu and AliExpress and Alibaba and all these other websites that you can just buy portable audio devices from for next to nothing, at just the small cost of killing the planet, what's not to love? Here we have the JBL, the T&G portable wireless speaker TG116C. I can only really assume that T and G stands for total and garbage. But not only is it wireless, it's also wireless. Alongside that, it's wireless, and it's also wireless. It's splash proof, so if you want to go swimming with it, don't. 120 Hz to 20 kHz of a frequency response. 10 watts of power output, and most importantly, it's blue, despite being pictured orange on the box. However, coming in at 7 times the cost, it's the JBL Flip Essential. It's a very good job. There's not even a hint of copyright going on here. The labels are completely different. The boxes are even the same size. They're millimeter perfect. They are the same size. The whole this is just. What, does no one report this stuff? JBL come in with their very witty marketing look. It's called the Flip Essential, and the thing's upside, so you've got to flip it over. Just the funniest thing. The JBL does offer double and a half. Yeah, it offers 10 hours of playtime, but is that at full chat? Is that at quarter volume? We have no idea. IPX7 waterproof, so you can take it swimming, although I probably wouldn't recommend it. And with a frequency response that's 40 Hz lower than the T&G. And it comes across with 2 × 8 watts RMS. Parting the flaps of the JBL and sliding out the insides reveals a USB Type A cable, so you can plug it in the wrong way up and then the right way up. My male audience will recognise this feeling. And now that the JBL is completely unprotected, I can play with its squishy bits. Tapping the cone feels like a nice low reliable thud. And the clicking of the buttons doesn't sound cheap or Chinese in any way. And here you've got an orange piece of shit that slides out of its shell faster than a turd after a Christmas dinner. Opening the takeaway food box reveals that the black speaker I ordered that turned up in an orange box is in fact blue. And because I don't like being lied to, for the rest of the video, this is going to be referred to as the butthole. The butthole has a flat bottom, which doesn't bring me much joy to touch, and when you put your thumb into it, it doesn't offer much resistance. The butthole is significantly bigger, and yet significantly lighter than the JBL, which makes you question, is there anything inside the butthole? The JBL arrives completely dead, whereas the butthole takes off like a Chinese spaceship.
Bluetooth mode.
Now, I said at the start of this video, I wanted to see if you could build something DIY on a super budget that would rival either of these.
You can make one yourself for a fraction of the cost.
So I've set myself a £10 limit, batteries not included, they obviously cost more, but a £10 limit for speakers, amps, anything else that goes inside the box, to see if I can build something that beats these. Now, of course, for this, I logged onto the mighty mecca of terrible quality products. Temu. Coming in at £1 per speaker, a completely unbranded, unknown, untested, unquantified, unsure if it was a good idea pair of speakers. And for £1, you're not just going to buy one of them, so I bought 4. For 73 pence each, I also purchased a passive radiator without a basket or anything. It's kind of just a floppy, I might have to make something, but I purchased a pair of floppies. I got a pair of floppies to go with my Temu £1 speakers. £6, not even that, £5.50 in total. For £1.47, apparently a 2x50 watt amplifier, a bag of 10 rocker switches for £1, but I'm only going to use one, so that's 10 pence. A bag of tiny rubber feet for the little wooden box I'm going to make. It's apparently going to have 4,200 legs and a phono cable. Okay, so it's not wireless, but you know. And to make sure I stay within budget, I'm going to be using this scrappy off-cut piece of wood and some of my own homemade personal glue that I bought for a previous project. So technically I have spent money on it, but you know, it's not doesn't really count. Interrupting this programming. If I can direct your attention to this corner of the screen, you will see that it is counting up to 30,000 subscribers, and I've been ever so excited, refreshing my phone every 4 minutes for the past day to try and keep track of this to make sure it doesn't suddenly skyrocket so I can get the screenshot for this exact shot. Ready? Surely, yeah! The OGs will remember that at 10,000 I awarded myself a cardboard play button and a plaque, and because I've got some of the best friends ever, one of my friends saw I was getting close to 30,000 and 3D printed me a play button. So yeah, this is what YouTube need to do. Keep the cost down, it's fine. 10,000 cardboard, not a problem. 30,000 3D print it. Ah! Feels good to be alive. God. Right. Let's build a speaker that's worth about 13 pence, shall we? Build montage. Woo! Well, now you see here, this has not gone tremendously well because when wood gets too thin, it splits, which means it's not overly strong, and you can kind of just do this with it. Shite! How? It caught. I haven't got the microphone for this bit, so I'm sorry, but what's happened so far is that I cut them the first time to cut them on an angle and it was too small, so the end fell off. I then tried cutting them in a pair, and when I went to route the little knot so the speaker sits in it fine, that broke apart. And then, because I've used the piece of wood that I had, and this is the size base I have now to play with, this is fine, but then when I have to have the width needed for the hole, then the thing just goes wrong and falls apart. So, due to the extraordinary limitations of my limitations of my woodworking skills, I am going to change design and have it not more like this, but similar in the tubular kind of round square, oblongy square tubular thing. Yes. Just a quick one from me to say, please like, comment and subscribe. It helps the algorithm massively. The more people that comment and like the video, the more it gets pushed. So thank you so much for everyone that's done it so far. Thank you to all 30,500 of you, which seems like a ridiculous number at the time of filming this. Back to the video. Woo! Right, it's time to test these things, and it's time to find out whether or not spending more money actually means you're not going to get in your ear because of how bad it sounds. Is ordering from China the way forward compared with making your own one out of cheap equipment, or is it worth spending the money? Now, to find this out, the best thing that we can do is put it up against 4 tests that I've devised from 3 seconds of thinking. 1, we're going to find out the frequency response of my home-built speaker, because we know that this one goes down at 80 Hz, that one goes down to 120 Hz. I want to see what my one can do with £1 speakers in it. 2, sound quality. Can you cheap out and still get a decent sound? 3, loudness. We've got 16 watts versus 10 watts versus apparently 50 watts. Does that stack up? And 4, portability. And I think we all know which way this one's going to go, given that that one's the size of a Coke can and that's the size of a dustbin. So without further ado, the frequency response. Now, given that we know that the butthole goes down to 120 hertz and the JBL claims to go down at 80 hertz, which is quite impressive for a small speaker, let's use the DATS V3 and find out where mine goes down to. So that this makes sense, I'm going to put the tones of the frequencies I'm talking about in the background. But my box says it's got a resonant frequency of 266 hertz. However, plays down to 20 hertz, slightly up all the way to 30 hertz, peaks at 266 hertz, and then dies a death, a big horrible death, and then goes again at 1000 hertz. I'm saying that my box plays down to 25 hertz. I win. Oh, God! Ah, had the battery terminals on the wrong way around. Hey! So as it turns out, that's what happened when the voltage goes below about 8 volts. It doesn't turn off, it kind of just cramps its pants.
Girls with their nails done now. I think the girls with their nails done now. I think the girls with their nails done now.
What the f***? Are you high? Get hydrated.
Stick around to the end of the video and we put the sound quality test to my kids to see if they can work out which one is the cheap one, which one I built, and which one's the JBL. Now, to be able to complete the loudness test properly, I've come to my local park with all of my friends. And so what I'm going to do is run through like before, test all 3 speakers at various distances to see if they can actually be heard at those various distances, to see which one is actually going to be the loudest and the most appropriate for a meat party.
You give me shivers without trying. Shit, there's no denying. Got my body in my danger zone. I don't need somebody. I don't need somebody. I wait for the night to you around. Seeing these illusions, see in my delusion. You got me seeing these illusions, see in my delusion. Got my mind spinning out of control.
Now, I can't do anything about the main road, which is just there, but it was a fair test. Back to Adam in the garage. Thanks, Field Adam. And that brings us on to our final test. The JBL wins, because it's much smaller than everything else, which makes it more portable. Infinitely. The JBL clearly wins. It's smaller than everything else. It's nice and round. It fits in your hand. It'll fit in a cup holder. It'll fit in your pocket. It'll fit in your backpack. And if you're really brave, you can shove it straight up your arm. In summary, the one that sounds best is obviously the JBL. It costs the most money. However, my favourite, because it's the loudest and because it's kind of a bit of an underdog, it's got to be the one I made. The T&G can go straight in the bin. Let's put it. Next video, subscribe. Next video, we're going to pull the T&G apart. We're going to do a dissection video and see what's actually inside it, to see how terrible it is. So in summary, the JBL has obviously won. I was never going to compete with years and years of R&D design from JBL. However, I do now have a cool looking speaker that I can sit on a bookshelf in my house. And it doesn't look ridiculous apart from the fact that the speakers don't line up. Yes, you don't have to type that as a comment. I'm well aware the speakers don't line up and I'm so happy about it. I couldn't actually be any happier about it. It's not like I spent ages trying to get the drill to go in the straight line and it just kept slipping every time. And then, I wanted to put speakers in that I realised that the holes are in the wrong place. And it's not as if that even matters or anything like that. Or that YouTube is a fucking horrible place. Anyway, that brings this one to a close. Next video is going to be me pulling this apart. So if you like a dissection video, comment, like and subscribe. Comment to subscribe and make the algorithm push my channel even further. Thank you once again to all 30,000 of you that are following me so far. I'm having a blast. Please keep up the support. It means the world to me. It means I can keep bringing you this kind of content so that on a boring day or while you're sat on the toilet having a poo, you can watch me mess around with some speakers and maybe go and do it yourself one day. I've been Adam, you've been amazing, thank you so much for watching, and as always, be good to each other. I'll see you next time.
I try it.
No, it's on. It's recording now. That's the microphone there, okay, and then we'll put it over here. Put this over your eyes, but keep your ears free.
I have small eyes, so I can
Small
do
eyes,
that.
yeah, that makes all the difference. Toby's gone full desert storm. Are we expecting a sandstorm?
This is free, but this one ain't.
We'll get to the video in a minute. And I want you to tell me which one sounds the best.
Okay.
Okay?
Bluetooth mode.
What? That sounds worse.
Worse?
It sounds better.
You think it sounds better?
Yeah. I don't agree.
Sounds better?
Yeah. Sounds like the best one I've heard.
Best one you've heard?
Yeah. But I say the first one's the best.
First one's the best, okay.
Nah, this one's best.
So who thought the first one was the best? You did. Who thought the last one was the best?
Yeah.
But we both thought the second one wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Second one was this one.
Oh!
That was the cheap one that I bought from the internet.
I knew it. Yeah, that sounded...
This one's the really expensive one by a big company.
Okay. Was that the first one?
That was the one that you thought was best. And the one that you thought was best was the one I made.
Oh my God. They both sound similar, so it's hard. Okay, we've eliminated the cheapest. I think it's the one that you made. That sounds good. Okay, yeah, your one's good, your one's good. I bet this might win, but this might win too, because it has 4 speakers on it. The black one sounds better. No. I quite like this one. Your one. Yeah, middle one. Your one! Better.
You think my one's better?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Same.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. Okay, now let's do the sound test to see what's the loudest.
The loudest.
Dun dun